right, Kevin, well, it's last call. Tell you what, why don't you tell me what movie we're going to talk about?
How about Demolition Man? Remember that movie, 93?
Oh, of course I remember that.
Demolition Man, that movie it's a kind of a gem.
It is. You know, it still holds up after all of these years.
Yeah, surprisingly. That movie does. Oh
I can
gosh.
watch that movie probably once a year and borderline have. Because it is, at the end of the day, obviously, it is an action movie, but it's a satire film as well.
More than you remember. When you watch it again, you start to realize that the things that they're talking about and the way they go about this society they're describing in the movie, it's mostly satirical. It's mostly taking stabs at present culture and actually kind of future culture where they see things going.
Right. I mean, everybody talks about all the predictions that they got right.
Oh, it's been done to death.
But I think the big piece of the prediction that a lot of people miss is the overarching prediction.
Okay.
Which is that society was going to go in two very different directions. Okay, like down into the gutter.
Right.
And way too PC.
Yeah, oh, totally. It sets it up from the beginning, yeah. It's juxtaposition of, this really PC society that came out of nowhere, and then this other Dennis Leary society that exists, in the sewers.
Right, I mean, don't swear, Kevin.
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality standard.
Fuck you!
Yeah, beep, Oh my gosh, that was such a good design.
Oh yeah,
too.
and the fact that if you pay attention, you can hear it in the background in that
Oh,
film.
the sound design actually deserves some credit for that because they're very consistent throughout the movie. You keep hearing it when someone swears.
What makes this film hold up, in your opinion?
I think, let's start with the cast. You got prime time Stallone.
Right.
And he was at probably one of his comedic best roles in that.
Absolutely. Unless you want to say Judge Dredd, but I feel like most of that was unintentional.
That's unintentional comedy. And then oh god.
But you had prime Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, prime Wesley Snipes. You had a young Sandra Bullock coming into the scene. She was just awesome in that.
You had Rob Schneider, who wasn't yet annoying.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. I can see how that could be confusing.
I don't believe it.
Or at least we didn't know he was annoying.
We didn't know yet. He wasn't like a carrot yet.
Right.
But we didn't know that yet.
Schneider.
Beep.
You mentioned Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah, Benjamin Bratt, obviously. Glenn Shadix, who was amazing.
Glenn Shadix, obviously most well known. I would say not even for that role, but for Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, that's Ortho. Yeah,
right.
Ortho.
He unfortunately passed away a few years ago. He's a great character actor.
Bob, let's talk about the hair, okay?
Hair?
Pick a color, all right? And lose the kimono, you look like a couch.
I mean, the central premise of this whole thing, you figure, okay, you get this guy, he's this badass cop, right? He's the Demolition Man, he blows everything up.
But it was, that in and of itself, I think, was already a satire of 90s action movies,
and
80s action movies.
Completely.
He was the guy who you saw in all these movies, your Mad Max, your Lethal Weapon.
Anything with Schwarzenegger.
But guess what? He was being punished for doing all the things that he was being lauded for in the other films he had done.
Exactly.
And that was start out with satire.
Immediately, right. It's already looking through a lens of, what if this actually went the way it really would?
Right.
What if you actually got punished for this?
He meets up with Simon Phoenix in the beginning. The villain is Wesley Snipes. Is it cold in here? Or is it just me?
And even the bad lines land.
They do. Because I think because it's all a wink. They all know it, but it's not to that level of like Last Action Hero.
No, not like that. No,
but then fast forward, he gets punished by being cryo-frozen.
Yep, new technology, and this takes place in '96, so it was only a few years after the movie was released. They figured technology must have gotten to that level.
Right.
That's
apparently also had, because he's frozen alongside like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, that was interesting too.
Well, obviously they didn't know he was dead yet.
But yeah, so I mean, he gets frozen, gets punished for his crimes there, and Phoenix also. The villain as well gets the same punishment as the hero in the beginning.
No, but Simon Phoenix seems to exist in what they expected, almost like the outcome of the LA riots to have been.
Pretty much.
That the society was just going to keep devolving in that area.
And that makes sense because
so there was another piece of social commentary right off the bat. It was
going to keep going. What if it kept going?
Right.
And got worse. He takes over half of LA.
Right. Oh yeah, and no one will go down there anymore.
I told the city, I said, look, nobody comes down here. Postmen figured it out. Policemen figured it out, but the goddamn bus drivers just wouldn't listen.
Oh, God. That was a great line, though.
Fast forward to, was it 2032?
32. Yeah, 36 years in their time.
Right. And we get him unfrozen because Simon Phoenix has for some reason undergone
Been
a
paroled?
parole hearing.
I don't know why he's being paroled before Spartan.
Right, yeah, it makes no sense. It was like a 12-state manhunt for Wesley Snipes' character.
And yet,
but you come to find out that maybe there's a reason.
Yeah.
Because you've got the central villain. You know what? I'm going to say right off the bat, we will be discussing spoilers in this film.
Have to.
Because it's from 1993. If you haven't seen the movie, you've had time.
Get your game together.
So going forward, Raymond Cocteau, who runs the society, wants Wesley Snipes out for reasons?
Reasons, basically, yeah.
He doesn't like the fact that there is still a literally underground resistance.
Right, as we said, there's the setup of like this dirty society that still lives there, and he wants to eliminate it. He thinks that if he unfreezes this crazy madman,
but he can somehow have some control over
him and make him kill their leader, Dennis Leary.
Right, and he may as well just be Dennis Leary, not Edgar Friendly.
Nope, he's just Dennis Leary.
He's just Dennis Leary.
He has a stand-up routine in the film. It's
he
hilarious.
does.
And it's beautiful.
It's perfect.
It's beautiful.
I want to run through the streets naked with green jello all over my body reading Playboy magazine. Why? Because I suddenly might feel the need to, okay, pal?
I do love the fact that they don't hide who the villain is. They tell you right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Even though, like, you do have that trope of, the really benevolent
plain
person.
sights.
Right. Oh, he's going to turn out to be the villain, the Alan Alda rule.
Yep.
This isn't.
No, they just tell you.
Right off the bat, they tell you, Raymond Cocteau is the villain.
Yep.
I mean, you find it out when you hear Wesley Snipes, his voice is in his head.
Right.
And it's Cocteau speaking.
Voice.
Don't you hear thought repeating in that brain of yours the name Friendly, Edgar Friendly?
So you know it's him, and then it's confirmed a few scenes later. So you know it's him the whole time, but that doesn't hurt the film. It helps.
No, it
the
doesn't.
film.
It absolutely
That
helps. Because, again, it's the societal idea of these sheep who could not possibly suspect that their benevolent leader could be a villain.
Look, you can't take away people's right to be assholes. That's who you remind me of. An evil Mr. Rogers. Will you please kill him? It's pissing me off.
How did he get in power? We don't find out that, do we?
Well, okay, as much as I love this film, and you and I have talked about it to death, but obviously we're doing a video here, so let's talk about it again.
Let's talk about it.
The biggest issue in that film, because there's so many great things in that movie, the writing is actually really good. I think an underrated aspect of that film...
I agree. The set design is really cool, too, actually, because they make it not too futuristic, but just enough.
Well, except for, every restaurant being Taco Bell.
Oh, my God.
Now, all restaurants are Taco Bell.
No way.
But
is that the future?
Not a future I want to live in. But really, the problem with the movie is it's not set far enough in the future.
Oh,
36 years isn't long enough. Don't say it like you and I haven't discussed this.
Oh, yeah.
That's the big problem with this movie. And a lot of people have talked about this. It's 36 years is not far enough in the future. There are people who still remember it, but for some reason they pretend that they don't.
Right, somehow he's been kind of brainwashed in his culture.
Right, I guess. But why not just set it 80 years in the future, 100 years in the future? Does it matter that it's close?
No.
Because you could, I guess, make the argument that Dennis Leary's character has to have some basis in it, but
not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
If the allegory, if basically the dichotomy they're setting up is that you have an element of society that's going to keep getting this dirtier, and they're going to live underneath us literally now.
Right.
If that's the case, and they can't eradicate that,
and it was heavy-handed.
It's entirely possible that Dennis Leary's character could rise from that group. They could have existed for some time.
And also, but again, I've seen people say Edgar Friendly needs a basis in the old reality. Sure. That's fine. Set the earthquake still 15 years before this happened.
Right.
Just because more time passed didn't mean the society had to be any.
Right, exactly. Because there's an event, the earthquake that they describe, that it seems to set up.
It was the big one.
So you assume it's San Andreas probably because this is in California.
Now they call it San Angeles.
Right, because
they merged
San Diego. They merged the cities. It could be an island for all we know.
You have a society where, again, Dennis Leary's character, along with a lot of others, and Jack Black, is in that movie when he was nothing. That is a cameo. There's a good freeze frame there with Jack Black with the gun. Beep. Why don't they just leave? That's not a drop.
Dennis Leary's character? Yeah, and all these people.
Just leave San Angeles. Is there a reason you can't... They talk about San Angeles being this perfect utopia.
Right.
So, in order to be a perfect utopia, number one, you have to have something to compare yourself to.
So what's the rest of the world like? You don't
know. Are we
know.
saying that the earthquake destroyed the United States, the one along the fault line, but left the city that is along the fault line okay?
Intact enough to rebuild?
Right. Exactly. So, just leave. Why not just leave?
Right, and that's just a central narrative flaw.
But again, that's a nitpicky flaw because the movie is overall a really good film.
It is. You can watch that film effortlessly, and even as you nitpick it, you're still laughing with it.
And while you watch it, I would offer you should listen to some mini tunes.
Oh, this is the most popular station in town. Wall-to-wall mini tunes. You call them commercials.
Oh, the mini tunes. How did this happen?
Right.
How did it happen that in that short period of time you have
the oldies
station playing commercials that would have been contemporary to like 93-ish.
Exactly, and they even acknowledge their commercials.
They do, which is, again, the beautiful part of the film. They acknowledge that they know that's a commercial, or what's called a commercial.
So, but I honestly, we talked about why it is that this movie holds up. That's really what we want to get into.
Yeah.
Obviously, we both love this movie. I really love this movie.
It's so effortlessly watchable and rewatchable.
Car crash, and car just turned into a cannoli.
What the hell happened? All of a sudden, this car turned into a cannoli.
Classic line.
But I think it holds up because we will probably as a society always be in that same struggle of finding a middle ground.
That's true. And the movie talks about that.
Why don't you get a little dirty? You elect clean. And somewhere in the middle, I don't know, you'll figure it out.
So we're always looking for a middle ground, but I think even as we've discussed in the past, action films specifically, these pure popcorny action films, are having trouble finding that middle ground. And somehow, Demolition Man, a film that was unheralded even at the time, despite it having a good cast, they hit a middle ground that a lot of films can't seem to get back to.
I think that's because they made a good movie that was a popcorn movie. This was not Transformers, the quest for more money to crib Mel Brooks.
Right, just keep pushing chips forward and see when the returns diminish, you stop making them, basically.
Correct, and that's so many of them, the Marvel films. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these movies, but you have things like the Marvel films, you have things like the Fast and the Furious films.
Right.
Where as long as they're still making money, they're going to keep making these movies.
They'll keep churning them out at some modicum of quality, but not anything higher than that.
They're not any good.
Right.
I mean,
they didn't start with a good movie and build on that.
Right.
They just started with the idea of how do we make X amount of money? We can spend this, let's make this.
And this movie, it didn't worry about world building.
No.
It didn't worry about, Oscar bait.
No.
It didn't worry about, is it dark enough?
Nope, none of it. None of it.
They knew the movie they were making, and they went all in. Wesley Snipes went all in. Sylvester Stallone went all in. Dennis Leary went all in. They all understood the movie they were making. There were little winks to the camera. Let's get this over quickly.
Yeah, that was a great line.
But the movie overall, it rides a political line. I'm not going to get into that, but it rides a political line, a societal line that will always, I think, resonate with moviegoers.
Yes, I agree.
And that's what makes this movie still hold up.
Yeah,
in 2017.
I agree. You can still watch this movie and say this still makes complete sense. It's not foreign. It doesn't feel like a film that a very dated action film like a lot of the 80s.
24 years later,
still feels just fine. You can watch the movie tomorrow. Nope, never seen it before.
And I guarantee you will like this movie. If you like action movies at all, you will like this movie.
It's hilarious. The action is well done. They actually use it pretty sparingly.
And there's very little in the way of special effects, so that nothing looks corny.
That's the problem with some of the movies as we got into the 90s.
Even the cannoli looks okay.
Does it?
I don't know. I got hungry.
But yeah, as we got into the 90s especially, the effects stuff started taking over.
Yep. See, I think a lot of that, you had the Terminator movie, and you got into special effects there, and everyone kind of wanted to walk that line. You had Jurassic Park, practical effects mostly.
And it required budgets to get really big to afford these things, especially at that time. And so a film like this, that has kind of minimal special effects, mostly practical stuff, and because you're working with people who are really good at doing what they do, like Snipes, who's an amazing martial artist,
right.
He can do all of his own stunts for the most part. Stallone, who's historically been very good at that.
I heard he actually did his own stunt when he was trying to evade the tax man. But, no, obviously it's a recommend from us, but it's not only a recommend from us from nostalgia's sake.
No.
This is a recommend if you have never seen this movie and you've somehow made it through all our spoilers here. They don't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
I could literally line for line this film for you, and I've seen enough. I might actually
be able to do it, yeah.
I could definitely storyboard this film.
Oh, sure.
But I could tell you everything about it, and then you could watch it, and it would still be enjoyable.
Yep, it would ruin nothing.
So, that was last call for us. Gotta get out of here. It's getting a little late.
Yeah, a little late.
All right. enjoy it, and remember to check us out.
Bottoms up. Hey guys, if you liked the video, like, share, and subscribe, of course. And we'll be posting probably some more of these as we go along, trying to mix it up a little bit
Older
here.
films.
Yep, a lot of stuff that we just love and always want to talk about. You know, things that we think are so relevant. So, thanks for watching.